Have you always been skeptical of video game adaptations? I mean, that's what I felt when I heard about Arcane. It's extremely easy to find video game franchises that have tried and failed, whether it be a TV series or a movie, chances are it didn't do well. There's even a term for it. They call it the Video Game Adaptation Curse. However, the barrage of YouTube videos from my feed made me want to give Arcane a chance. So now, it's your turn. Here's my video to throw into the mix and hopefully get you into Arcane. I'm leaving the biggest reason at the end, so I hope you can catch it there. Reason 1. If you're worried about not knowing the story because you didn't play the game, don't worry. We were in the same boat and I was completely in the dark before going into the series. And you know what? I'm glad I did that. Having spent time inside Arcane forums and fan sites, many people said that they wished that they didn't play the game and just watched the series instead. In fact, it's almost a different story from the game itself anyway. This is because Riot Games, the company that made League of Legends, actually wants to retcon or change the origin stories of their characters and base them on the series. So, when you think of it that way, technically everyone was in the dark going into the series. Reason 2. When you first start the series, it only takes a moment before you see the pure spectacle that is the animation of Arcane. It was actually animated by the French studio Fortiche by blending 2D and 3D animation. The result is that almost every scene in the series, or at least season 1, can be paused and turned into a great wallpaper. The best part is, the animation only gets better as the series progresses. This is especially so with the fight scenes later in the series. Reason 3. If you're seeing this video, then chances are you're into animation or some other geeky stuff. And that's fine, we're all geeks here. However, that also means that you know about or have an appreciation of world building. For those who don't know, world building is just basically how the world was laid out and created by the writer or the writers. In Arcane, the story revolves around 2 cities. When it comes down to it, Piltover is basically the nicer side of town, while Zaun leaves a lot to be desired. The thing is, even with the first watch through, you find a lot of story-driven elements in the setting itself. I mean, there are entire threads and videos dedicated to dissecting even the smallest details that you can find in the world. Reason 4. I know I mentioned the animation earlier, but just as spectacular as the animation is, the music does not disappoint. From the background music, the sound effects, and the diegetic sounds, Arcane made it so that the entire series is a feast for both the eyes and the ears. By the way, diegetic music or sound is just like music breaking the fourth wall in effect. So for example, you might hear Imagine Dragons in the background, then go on to see that they were actually playing the song on the streets and our protagonists walk by them. By the way, it's not just Imagine Dragons here, but you also have Sting having his own song in the series. So they really have good taste in music. Reason 5. Have you ever experienced a story that just sucks you in? You know, the kind of story that you just have to finish and after it just stays in your head rent-free? That's the kind of story this is. I mentioned the great animation, the world building, and the sound, but all of those are just tools to get you into the story more. In fact, those very things all serve to enhance the storytelling. From the bright tone of Piltover to the dark shadows of Zaun, from the intense music of Imagine Dragons to the somber tunes of Sting. They had a purpose in the storytelling. Aside from those, every character in the story is complex. From the protagonists to the antagonists, each have stories and perspectives of their own. You'd be surprised how much story they can tell even if a character only had 5 minutes of screen time. The execution of the character arcs actually gets you so absorbed into the story that when something bad happens, it's actually heart-wrenching to watch. That said, it's not really enough to get you to stop watching. Don't worry, you're not a masochist, the story is just that good. If you need more reasons to watch Arcane, you can try this video right here. Until then, peace and have a great day.